We are rolling. For those of you at home, hi Jenny. We are recording this. This is Wednesday, not Tuesday. Yay. The birthday of the Blessed Mother. It's going to be Blessed Virgin Mary. So happy birthday, Mom. And all right. We are looking at homework 1B for today. So if you'd be so kind, take that out. We'll check it out. And Jenny, at home for 1B, if at one point when you get it done, if you just take a photograph of it and email it to me, that'll be good. And I can email you back, and well, I can just check it off basically. And we can get the answers to somehow. Where'd my pencil go? Oh, I have a W. There we go.
I didn't have time to do it. I ran out of time.
Alrighty.
I just ran out of time to do those ones, but I did do the rest.
Okay. 40, 48. So I'll give you 2 right now, and if you finish it, I'll bump it up.
Okay.
So call me. Alrighty. The answers are as follows. This is 1B.
Yeah, for 17, 18, and 19, I know those are really basic, but I have forgotten how to do those.
Oh,
So
okay.
I
It's one of those that until you figure out what they're talking about, it can be kind of a mystery. Yeah, take my glasses. So, number 17. You should write it as this. This is number 17. Whoa, bad marker. Bad marker, exactly. Where's good marker? Good marker. 17 should look like this. That's it. So 2 cubed is 2 to the 3rd power, basically. So that's the first one. So number 17 is that. Number 18 is p squared, so it's p to the 2nd power. Like that. 19, 9 to the y power. That's kind of fun. This is 18. 9 to the, basically 9 to the power of y. Should have a little bitty y in the upper right hand corner. 20 is b to the 8th power. So it should look like that. 21 should be, it's 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times y. That's really 3 to the 4th power times y.
I put the y before, like.
Oh, you put the y before
I
the
did
3 to the 4th?
3y in parentheses, and then put 4.
Oh, that's actually a little different. 3y parentheses to the 4th would be 3y times 3y times 3y times 3y. And that would actually get you 81 y to the 4th, which would make it way big.
Okay.
So does that make sense? The only thing that gets raised to the 4th power is 3. So I would put that first.
Okay, that explains why I got 81Y.
Oh, okay, got it. So if somebody did this, y times 3 to the 4th, I suppose that'd be okay. We kind of like putting numbers before letters though. If that, I don't know if anybody did that anyway. Jenny, if you did that, there. That's what we're talking about. So this is the answer for number 21. Okay. Number 22, t times t is t squared. Hopefully I can just, t to the 2nd power. 23, just count them carefully. That's 23 is c to the 6th power. 24, 5 times x, 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 x. It's a single 5 times x to the 5th power. So make sure you don't use parentheses unless you want to also duplicate the 5. 4x times 4x times 4x, that does the parentheses thing. That'll be 4x parentheses cubed. There is another way you could do that if you want. It's 4 to the 3rd times x to the 3rd. That's also acceptable on this one, because both of them work. So they're going to be 3 4s and 3 x's both. Everybody okay with number 25? All right, number 26. I can just read these off. Number 26, the answer is 100. 27, the answer is 25. 28, the answer is 64. 29, the answer is, this is kind of fun, 1296. 1296. Number 30 is 100,000. 1 with 5 zeros. 31 should be 2,401. 2401. 32 is 4,096. 4096. 33 is 729. 729. And number 34 is 32. It repeats in that section. Sorry, Gina, I can't hear you if you were asking me to repeat. Just hit rewind. And by the way, this is going to be on YouTube, so click like and subscribe. I'm kidding. Everybody says that when they do. If you like the video, hit like and subscribe, and then I get like 5 cents from my sponsor. I don't have a sponsor. So anyway, number 35, I don't know where that came from. 35, 4 to the n when n is 5, that's basically 4 to the 5th, 4 to the 5th power. So the answer is 1,024. If you wrote it as 4 to the 5th, that's okay. They just also want you to evaluate it. That means find the value. Number 36, b to the 4th power when b is 9, that's 9 to the 4th power. And the final answer is 6561. 6561. 37, x to the 6th power when x is 10. What they really want is 10 to the 6th power, which is 1 million. 1 followed by 6 zeros. 38, c to the 6th when c is 2. They really want 2 to the 6th. So the answer is 64. 39, w to the 3rd when w is 13. They want 13 to the 3rd. So 13 times 13 times 13, which is 2197. 2197. And this is a total fun one. P squared when p is 2.5. We can do that on the board if you want. I would like you to try these without a calculator. So even if they're decimals. So you should have 2.5 squared, which is 6.25. 6.25. And it repeats in that section. Okay. Keep it going. Last section. 41, they want you to do x plus y parentheses squared. Parentheses means do that first. So basically you're going to take 5 plus 3 parentheses squared. Do the parentheses first, so it's really 8 squared. And the final answer is 64. 64.
That's for 41.
Correct. 42, plug in the numbers, and you get 25 minus 4 squared. So do those individually. You got to do exponents before you subtract. So it's 25 minus 16. And the final answer is 9. Okay. Number 43, they have another parentheses. A minus b to the 4th. So take a minus b, because it's in parentheses, do that first. 4 minus 2, which is 2. They really want 2 to the 4th power, which is, final answer is 16. 1 6. 44. C to the 3rd plus d, but they gave you c equals 4 and d equals 16. So it should be 4 to the 3rd plus 16. Now, 4 to the 3rd is 64, and then plus 16. Final answer is 80. 80. Number 45, d minus 3 parentheses squared. Do the parentheses first. So 13 minus 3 is 10. So they want 10 squared, which is 100. Number 46, 16 plus x to the 3rd when x is 2. So it's really 16 plus 2 to the 3rd. Now do the exponent first before you add. So don't do 16 plus 2. It'll be really 16 plus 8, which is 24. Final answer. How fun are these next ones? These get a little annoying. That's why I only give you 2 of them, especially without a calculator. 9 to the 5th power, which is basically 9 times 9 times 9 times 9 times 9. So basically you keep going. 9 times 9 is 81, times 9 is something, 729, I think. And then times 9 is heck 9. And then just do that on paper, and then multiply by 9 one last time. Final answer, 59049. 59049. And number 48, 2 to the 10th power, 1024. That was tedious. I'll say 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is, I got a story to tell you about that later too. But any repeats on the whole thing? Let me double check. Hi Jenny, I'm going off, I'm still here. I'm just going off screen to make sure that you can actually see everything on the board. I'm around here somewhere, and I'm open to questions. Yeah.
Can we do number
40,
40?
40,
There was
yeah.
one me and you both got wrong, I know that.
So p squared when p is 2.5.
Did you get 29 wrong?
Okay.
There was one me and you both.
I hope this isn't in the total glare thingy. I'm gonna go like block those windows with cardboard. But anyway, what they really want is 2.5 parentheses squared. I would say whenever you plug anything in, use parentheses around it. It usually saves lots of arithmetic mistakes. So this is basically 2.5 times 2.5. I'm just gonna do this the long way. Now if you remember with decimals, ignore the decimals for now. Just multiply regular. 5 times 5 is 25. So write the 5 and carry the 2. Then 5 times 2 is 10, with the extra 2 that's 12. No decimal. And then 2 times 5 is 10. By the way, scoot over one space or put a 0. A lot of people like to put a 0 there. 2 times 5 is 10, carry the 1. 2 times 2 is 4, with the extra 1 is 5. So I have 5, I'm going to add 5 to 6. Now 625, you see the original problem. How many decimal places are there in the original problem total? 2. There's 1 here, 1 here. So you steal those 2 spaces back. And your final answer, 6.25. Does that make sense? Next. They're all fair game. Yeah. As long as everything might look wet.
Oh yeah, 31.
31. 7 to the 4th power. Yes, this is just plain old annoying.
I think I multiplied it an extra term or something. I'm not
7
sure.
times 7 to, I can give you a little bit of a shortcut here. Did anybody do 7 times 7 and then take the answer times 7 and then take the answer times 7? Yeah, it's a perfectly valid thing to do. I learned you don't have to do an order. You can do 49 times 49. That might be a little faster. It depends. Your mileage may vary. But I'm going to do 49 times 49. And by the way, later on, not this chapter, but next chapter, there's actually a shortcut for taking a big number and squaring it. So right now, we'll just do the old-fashioned way. 9 times 9 is 81. Carry the 8. 9 times 4 is 36. Plus 8 is 44. And then 4 times 9 is 36. Remember to put a 0 here, or I'll do a fancy 0. So, I'm sorry. What am I doing? I'm an idiot. 4 times 9 is 36. Carry the 3. And then 4 times 4 is 16. Plus 3 is 19. So, 1, 0, carry the 1. 9 times 14, carry the 1. 2,401. You could also do 7 times 7, and then times 7, and then times 7. You should get the same thing. 49 times 7. That's 49 times 7. 280.
Yeah, somehow I got
343. Okay. You could also do, you know.
On 30, I got 100 and not 100,000. So
343, and then times another 7. You can do that as well. 1, carry the 2. 28, 30, 21, 24. Yeah, so that should work too. Next. I kind of skipped a step on that 343. I didn't carry. show you how to.
Something is really bothering me. I
Huh?
feel really dumb.
Where?
But okay, on the adding part.
Huh?
Isn't 6 plus 4 10 and not 11?
Where?
Right there.
Right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 plus 4 is 10.
Then
Put a
why did
zero-
you carry the
Put a
1?
0 here, because it's a 10. You
Oh,
carry
that's
the,
right. I was like,
yeah.
I feel really stupid. I know I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah, you carry the bigger place, and leave the little place blank. Next.
I guess would be 39.
39. Yes, W to the third when W is 13. They basically want 13 to the third power. So there's not much of a shortcut here. I'm gonna do 13 times 13 first. I get 169. If you memorize that, great. If you don't, do it by hand. And then times that by 13. That I'm just gonna do by hand. 9 times 3 is 27. Carry the 2. 6 times 3 is 18 with the 2 is 20. Carry the 2. 3 times 1 is 3 with the extra 2 is 5. And this is actually one of my favorite things when you get multiplying by 1. Put the phantom 0 here. Multiplying by 1 is just 169. You can just sort of copy it. So 7, 9, this is 11 to carry the 1. 2197 should be. Is that right? Yes. What do we got? Phineas? Feel okay? Alright. Good to go. Take out your notes,
Should we get one of
please.
those calculators so I can do add and subtract?
What's that?
What? I
Oh.
said like we should get one of those like one of those.
Yeah.
calculators.
Let me see if I can get. Oh. Isn't that completely saturated? Wow. You want to talk saturated? This is what it used to look like. This is, yeah. I'm gonna see if I can use this. Yeah, actually, what erases pretty well. Jenny, if I'm erasing it before you get everything down, you have an advantage. You can actually hit rewind. So enjoy. All right. I want to talk today about something. We touched on this. It's called the order of operations. You might have heard, please excuse Madeira and Sally, that thing. That's the order of operations, but I'm going to add a few extra things to the list. It's please excuse, and I'm going to deliberately write it a little strangely. MD, AS. A and D are together. M and D are together, and A and S are together. The order of operations says whenever you're doing a math problem with lots of different operations, like multiply and add and exponents and parentheses and subtract, what should you do first, always? According to this list, what sounds like it might come first? Multiplication is pretty early. At the very top of the list is P. That's what that stands for. Parentheses. Correct. You do parentheses first, before anything else. After all the parentheses are done, then you do what? What does E stand for? Stick blank down. Exponents, very good. Exponents. Powers. So before you go into any add, subtract, multiply, divide, you gotta make sure you do all your exponents first. Then, this is multiply / divide. The reason I say multiply / divide, they have the same rank. In other words, multiply and divide are pretty much the same thing. It's just one's going forward and one's going backward. A little later on, I'm going to review what it's like to divide. Have you ever divided a fraction before? Remember how to do that? There's a trick to it. Dividing by the fraction is the same as multiplying by the, starts with an R. We'll cover it later.
I want to say reciprocal.
You got it, reciprocal, the upside down version. Now, you don't have to know that yet, but dividing is the same as multiplying by something. So really, multiplying and dividing are the same thing. One goes forward, one goes backward. It's weird, but true. Adding and subtracting, same thing. Subtracting is just adding backward. It's adding a negative or adding an opposite. Okay. So the A and S are going to be add slash subtract. So I'm going to put in parentheses, and I'd like you to add this. Go ahead and copy this down if you haven't already. Order of operations, the first thing you do is parentheses. Then after that, you do exponents. Then after that, you do multiply and divide from left to right. Kind of how you, like how we read. There's some exceptions in the world, you know. If somebody happens to be Chinese, they can go from top to bottom. If you're Hebrew, you go from right to left. So, blah, blah, blah.
If you're reading manga.
We're not. It's what?
If you're reading manga.
Yeah, it's just, and then add, subtract, also from left to right. So if you have a bunch of addition and subtraction problems mixed together, they're the same rank. You just do them in order from left to right. You don't go out of your way to do one before the other. Same thing with multiplying and dividing. If you have a bunch of multiply and divide, multiply, divide, multiply, divide, you just do them in order from left to right. You don't have to mess up. If you have an exponent in there, do that first. Okay. Now, I'm going to throw in two extra things. The book does not throw these things in, but I think it should. Under parentheses, this is going to be ironic. After parentheses, put parentheses, which is, I never even realized. I've been doing this for years, and I never even realized that it's kind of ironic. So after parentheses, put brackets. No, put parentheses. So parentheses and any groups. I'll show you what that means a little later. But any collection of group, anything that belongs together, kind of treat it like it has phantom parentheses around it. Treat it like a group and do it first. And exponents, this includes square roots. We'll discuss later why that's true. I'm in chapter 5 or something. But for right now, can anybody tell me the backward version of squaring? Think of a square a number, like 5 squared. What's the backwards version of that? Instead of squaring, you do what? It sounds a lot like it. It actually uses the same word, but it adds an extra word. Squaring is forward. Square. There is a math phrase, I've probably heard it before. It's on a calculator. It looks like this.
Oh, our square root.
Square root, right. We'll talk more about that later. But that, you know, plus minus, that's the same rank as an exponent. So squares and square roots are both things that are very important you do second. Only parentheses would be done before it. So the highest priority is parentheses, then exponents, then multiply, divide, then add, subtract. I'll say this is last. So it's sort of continuum here, first to last. Okay. Let me try one. We're going to have 10 minus parentheses 2 plus 3 parentheses squared plus 8 divided by 2 cubed plus 4. So I want to see if we can get the correct answer. Doing it in the wrong order will actually give you the wrong answer. It will give you a very weird answer that may be wrong. Here's my towel. We're looking for this for forever. Actually, no, never mind. That needs to go to the laundry. Everything's blue. But where would we start on this one? Parentheses, right. We'd be tempted to start from left to right, but I can't yet. You disobey parentheses, left to right, and rightly so, because we need to do any parentheses first. So, help me out here. Do we have any parentheses in here? Yes. What's in 2 plus 3? Go ahead and do that for me. 5. I'm about to do something that's going to look tedious. I would recommend you do it, like on tests and, like eventually you're gonna get practiced at it and you can do these faster and faster. I'm gonna say right now, recopying is your friend. What does that mean? That means keep rewriting and rewriting and rewriting and rewriting. And this is one of the times this is gonna sound off really horrible, but feel free to kill trees. Burn through like 5 pieces of paper if you need to. The trees are dying for a good cause. It's math. Oh, is it off screen?
Hold it.
Oops.
I moved it.
Thank you. Thank you, camera person. Well, your check's in the mail. No, anyway,
Really?
I'm kidding.
Oh, yeah,
Sorry.
same.
10 minus, and then all I'm gonna do is replace the parentheses stuff. What would that be again? 5. Leave that in parentheses and leave it squared. Plus 8 divided by 2 to the 3rd plus 4. You notice I didn't change anything except the parentheses stuff.
Do you have to leave it in parentheses?
I'm sorry?
Do you have to leave it in parentheses?
Oh, I like it in parentheses, but in this case, not necessarily. It's up to you. I'd say it's a good habit to get into, but unless it's, like, if it were a negative in here, definitely leave it in parentheses. Like, if it were -5 parentheses squared, that's a totally different answer than if it were not parentheses. I would say yes, just leave it in parentheses. Now, we'll get rid of it in a second. After parentheses, now, you say, hey, there's more parentheses there, we gotta do that. Well, there's nothing more to do. Good to check, though. What comes next? Exponents. Are there any?
Yes.
How many? There are 2 of them. What is 5 squared? Yes, let's do that. 10 minus 25, and I can just lose the parentheses. Plus 8 divided by what? What's 2 to the 3rd power?
I want to say it's 12, but not.
Little too big. So 2 to the 3rd is 2 times 2 times 2. So do the 2 times 2 first.
Would it be 8?
2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, correct?
Okay, I was supposed to.
Plus 4. Everybody okay so far? Follow along? All right. Exponents are all done. Now what?
Multiply by.
Multiply, divide. Are there any? Where? There's a divide here. There are no multiplies, so you don't have to worry about those. We checked from left to right. Multiply, divide, there's only one. So what we're gonna do this division problem. Just this little division. What is 8 divided by 8? 1. So write as 10 minus 25 plus 1 plus 4. The good news on this is it's getting easier and easier and easier. So no other multiply divide. So Amelia, what do we have to do last? Add and subtract. Are there any?
Yes.
Yeah, 3 of them. What order do we do them in?
Either whatever personal preference. Well, you can do it left to right.
From left to right, correct. Because if so many people memorize this as please excuse my dear Sally, so they do add before subtract, and you actually get the wrong answer here. You do them out of order. You do 25 plus 1 is 26, and it throws off the answer. It would be like two thingies too big. So let's do them in order. Does anybody know so in order, I'm just going to do this as a dotted line. What's 10 minus 25? Negative 15. Plus 1?
14.
Negative 14, good, because they fight each other. Negative 14. Plus 4?
Negative 10.
Negative 10. Congratulations. You got it. That's how you do order operations. Questions?
Why is it 10 minus, why did the 10 minus 25 become a negative?
Oh, good question. What I do is I add the opposite.
Okay.
Now,
Oh,
10
the
plus
key
negative
to
25.
flip.
Yeah, anytime you add 2 numbers and they're opposites, like one's positive, one's negative, they fight each other. And they kind of wipe each other out. The negative one wins because it's stronger by 15, by that much. Okay, so there's a war going on and the negatives emerge victorious, although battered and bloody. So it's not as strong as it was. Any questions on that? believe it or not, that I think is almost all we have. Look, if you will, at page 19. I'm going to wow. Yes. What I'm going to do is, let me write this on the board, and Jenny, I'll do this on the, welcome to my life. Actually, I'll put the assignment right here. I hope this is gonna be on the board. Thank you. This is gonna be homework, sorry. Number, I think it's gonna be 1C. It's going to be on pages 19 through 20. And it's going to be numbers 13 through 22. And then I would like you to do 23 through 39 odd. Okay. So 13 through 22, I'd like you to do all of them. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Once you get to the 23, I'd like you to do 23, 25, 27, 29. So the second half, I pretty much cut the assignment in half. So less assignments to do. Okay. I will put that over on the sideboard here too. That is about all we have. So Jenny, we're praying for you. God bless you. And click like and subscribe. I kid.